1 in 4 women struggle with infertility. And when you start thinking about trying to conceive, you definitely don't think that you're going to be the 1 in 4. You also don't even consider that you could possibly be part of the 1 to 2% of women whose pregnancies end in ectopic pregnancy. But that's exactly who I am. In March of this year, I went to a new doctor, and upon my first exam, it was discovered that I had a 5-centimeter endometrioma, and I was scheduled for surgery about a week later. I had my surgery and everything looked really great. In the world of endometriosis, I was considered very lucky, and my endometriosis looked very, very mild. About 2 weeks after my surgery, I was rushed to the ER in the most excruciating pain, and it was discovered that I was pregnant. And I have never been more shocked in my entire life. Even though we were trying to conceive, it was probably the first month in my entire life where I completely didn't think that there was even a remote possibility that I could be pregnant. And I was sent home with a threatened miscarriage. And about a week later, I rushed back to the ER in, again, an extraordinary amount of pain. And it was discovered that I was bleeding internally. And I was rushed into surgery. And luckily, or so I thought, they were able to save my tube. And it was heartbreaking. It's a heartbreaking loss for anyone to have to go through. For someone who has pretty much said the only thing that they've ever wanted to do with their life is have kids, it was extremely defeating. And there just aren't enough words to describe how that feels. And so we took a few months to recover, and due to my history of irregular cycles, we decided to start trying to conceive with Clomid. So after 3 cycles of Clomid, about 2 weeks ago, I woke up in this very bed, and I walked over there to the bathroom, and I took a pregnancy test against my will. I hate taking pregnancy tests. It's like total torture when you're trying to conceive and all you want to see is, a positive result. And seeing not pregnant, which is seems like the 2 harshest words in the English language. It's just, when you see that over and over again, month after month, you just, the last thing you want to do is put yourself in a position where you're going to have to see that again. But I took it anyway, and it said pregnant. And the only thing that I could think was, holy shit. I was so shocked. And it's funny, I crawled back into bed right here, and my fiance said, well, that's sort of what happens when you try to get pregnant. You end up getting pregnant. But God, I was so scared. I was so terrified. And a few days later, we went to the doctor, and I just couldn't stop praying. I prayed and prayed and prayed, and all I wanted was to see something on the ultrasound, just like a little, a little blip, a little anything. And I've had enough ultrasounds, God, in the last year to last a lifetime. And like many women who struggle with trying to get pregnant, you know what you're looking at on an ultrasound, and there was nothing there. And we tried to be optimistic, we tried to be hopeful, but I think as a woman, you know what's happening in your body, and I knew at that second, I knew exactly what was happening. And I was told that I was having a miscarriage, and I went home, and I really had no emotion. I really, how are you supposed to feel? What are you supposed to say or think or do when you know that you're losing a second pregnancy? It's just, there's just really nothing to say, nothing to do. So I waited, and things started happening. I'll spare you the gory details. And I went back to the doctor on this past Tuesday to check my hormone levels, thinking that it was all over and I could move on and try to recover emotionally. And it was discovered that my hormone levels were rising. And, after 6 months of just one crazy thing after the other, it didn't surprise me at all. It pissed me off, but I wasn't surprised. And, I was just told to go home and told to come back next week, and we would keep checking and following up. And, the one thing that I've learned this year is that you have to trust your gut. You have to trust your instinct. I've been telling people for years that I have endometriosis, that I have some problem, that there's something going on, there's something wrong. And I was always dismissed. You're underweight, or you're stressed, you have anxiety. But I knew that wasn't the answer. And lo and behold, I was diagnosed with endometriosis. I mean, undeniably, I have it. And Thursday night, 2 nights ago, I was here at home, and I wasn't having excruciating pain. I was definitely really uncomfortable. I didn't feel good. I felt kind of dizzy, kind of lightheaded. I felt like crap. And I knew that something wasn't right. And as weird as I felt about going to the ER, I felt like guilty, and I felt like I would feel embarrassed for going, and that like nothing would be wrong. And I went anyway. And I was given Motrin. My pain was barely anything. And after my ultrasound, the ER doctor came in, and I swear, I was expecting him to just say, you're a huge baby. You're a baby and you just have gas, or God, who knows, just something stupid, something so not important. And that I would just go home, kind of feeling like a dummy. And he came in and he said, there's fluid on your ultrasound, and basically you're bleeding internally, and you have to have surgery. My 3rd surgery in 6 months. And I really just felt nothing. I really just felt nothing. I felt just done, just defeated. So I was rushed into surgery, and they removed my fallopian tube, and let me tell you, it is really weird waking up knowing that you have one less organ. Not only is it excruciatingly painful, but it is just strange. It's a weird feeling. And so here I am. This is what infertility looks like. This is what it feels like. This is what it sounds like. I am the 1 in 4. And I understand why people don't talk about it. I understand why women feel like they need to keep it a secret, why they want it to be private. But I've never been that kind of person. I've never been someone who keeps things to myself. I'm loud. I talk about everything. I share everything. And most of the time I feel fine about that. But for some reason, when it comes to losing pregnancies, there's so much shame and so much guilt surrounding it. And it's so messed up, you know? Why should I feel guilty? Why should I feel shame? You know, I'm just a person that has problems, you know? My body just doesn't work the way that the 3 and 4's bodies work. And I'm trying not to feel guilty about that. And I'm sharing my story because I feel like the more that women feel like they need to hide it and, you know, whisper about it and keep it a secret, the more we tell the world, you know, that shame and that guilt is real. And that's what we should be feeling. And we really shouldn't. And I don't want to feel like that, and I don't want any other person who's going through this to feel like that. I think it's wrong. I don't think it's fair. I think every woman should be able to talk about it if they want to, and not keep it a secret. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm sharing this. And who knows, maybe nobody will watch this. And, you know, that's actually fine. I've been in bed for 48 hours and my skin is a mess. I'm not wearing makeup. I haven't showered. I smell. I mean, look at my hair. It's like a huge rat's nest. But whatever. So if no one watches it, then at least I'll be able to preserve some physical dignity. But that's not really the point. The point is that I don't want to have to feel alone and isolated in dealing with this kind of a loss. And I really don't want anyone else to feel that way either. So if you're struggling with some kind of loss, a miscarriage, an ectopic pregnancy, a stillbirth, you're not alone. There are people out there who have been through it and are going through it, and everybody who's experienced this is entitled to share their story and entitled to have somebody to talk to. So I'll be that person. I'll be that ear for you if you're the 1 in 4. So